development, the development process. Dia ada banyak apa orang kata, banyak fasa, alright. So bila dia ada banyak fasa, ada perkara yang penting sekali yang perlu diberi perhatian, iaitu bahagian feasibility. Sebab feasibility ni tujuan dia adalah untuk memastikan bahawa the selection project, the selected area adalah sesuai. Okay, so for today kita akan tengok on the inception and also feasibility. Okay. You okay tak ni? Ada di sini ke? Tidur, buka atau tidur?
Okay, on.
Okay. Alright, so let's start. Okay, untuk hari ni. Okay, so seperti saya mention earlier, alright, so inception and feasibility. So fasa ni adalah penting, alright. So kerana dia menentukan sama ada projek itu sesuai atau tidak, and adakah lokasi yang dipilih itu sesuai atau tidak. So basically during inception and feasibility, we are going to look into what inception is, what are the items in feasibility study, and then previously I do mention that in terms of approvals, so every stage ada approval. So in inception and feasibility, the approval would be development order and also developer's license. So development order is for the development, developer's license is for the developer. Yeah, do remember again that with me, yeah, you are no longer a builder, you are now a developer. Okay, so you need to know that. Okay, when we say about inception, it is actually about land, tentang tanah. Alright, so I focus in Peninsular Malaysia, yeah, sebabnya most of the activity ataupun development yang kita akan tengok. So sebenarnya if you were to be here, if you were to be in the real physical class, you will be conducting the assignment here in Shah Alam. Alright, so that's why I focus more on Peninsula. However, I have tried and apa orang kata, request the student to actually conduct the assignment at their place, and we have one that conducted in Sabah and one in Sarawak previously. So it seems that the process is almost the same. Sorry. However, the requirement, because in Sabah and Sarawak, we have various ethnics, and the ethnics head are very in the power. So whatever decision need to go through them, and most of the land in Sabah and Sarawak are tanah adat, so they have to go through the leader of the tribe. Yeah, so if in Peninsular Malaysia, whereby I focus on Peninsular Malaysia, yeah, the land ownership is governed by the federal constitution, apa tu, Perlembagaan Persekutuan, yeah, and also National Land Code, and also Land Acquisition Act. Alright. So the Malaysian land law under the National Land Code is being based on the torrent system. Alright, so maknanya the register of land ownership is maintained by the government and guarantees an indivisible title to those owner listed in the register, which means that supposedly, yeah, in our practice, yeah, if your name is actually in the title, alright, so there is no one can simply change that unless there are a transaction of you know, purchasing or giving, yeah, or changing the title, alright, which is it needs to have your or the owner's agreement, yeah, sepatutnya. Yeah, maknanya the ownership is maintained by the government and guarantees indivisible title to the owners listed in the register. Okay. However, dia ada however kat sini. Yeah. However, in the federal constitution, this constitutional right is subject to the government's right to acquire land for adequate compensation. Makna kata, if the government has projects, contohnya buat jalan raya, buat LRT, buat MRT, ECRL, ya, lalu dekat tanah kita, ya, we have no rights to say no to the government. Kalau dekat dalam terma teknikal, ya, kalau JKR lah kata dia nak projek tu lalu dekat tanah kita, dia panggil namanya pengambilan balik tanah. Maknanya the land used to be owned by the government, then the government gives to you, and now the government wants to develop the area. Jadi untuk kegunaan rakyat, so there is no way that you are not giving them the land, but they will provide you with adequate compensation. Okay, so this land ownership, pemilikan tanah ni, it can be done through 3 routes. Alright, first one is dealings, number 2 is inheritance, number 3 is alienation. Alright, so sebenarnya dealings and alienation ni actually macam pembelian lah ataupun disposal. However, dealings is when you purchase or transfer the registration with private ownership. Tetapi kalau alienation, it's the state land. Maknanya kita ambil daripada state government ataupun government. Alright, and the other one is inheritance, maknanya dia turun-temurun from one parents or ancestors. Alright, so ownership can be dealings, inheritance or alienation. Okay, this is the National Land Code. Alright, so tadi kita tahu untuk memiliki ada 3 cara, alienation, inheritance or dealings, and you need to know that the land can be divided into either freehold or leasehold. Alright, freehold ni dia adalah it's yours forever and you can do whatever you want to the land, whereby leasehold it's actually leased ataupun dipajakkan to you from the government within certain period, minimum 10 years, maximum 99 years. So should you want to renew the lease, yeah, so you need to pay certain amount of money, maknanya nak bayar premium dia lah, yeah. And then other than that, for land, okay, we have condition, express condition or implied condition. So express condition is actually syarat nyata yang di dalam title. So sebenarnya title ni dia bukan tajuk. Okay, title ni actually geran, di dalam geran. Okay, so express condition ni syarat yang nyata dalam geran, ataupun implied condition ataupun sekatan nyata. So selalunya dia akan sama ada kalau express condition ni sama ada building, agriculture, ataupun satu lagi commercial, ataupun industri. Alright, tetapi kalau implied ni dia ada detail lagi. Kalau agriculture, tanaman getah, ataupun agriculture, tanaman pokok. Maknanya dia punya sekatan itu ataupun dia punya condition itu hanya untuk that particular activity sahaja. So kalau dia kata express condition building, and then dia nyatakan lagi rumah kediaman ataupun building tapi pusat tahfiz, you will find that sebenarnya dia memang dah spesifik. So maknanya apa yang boleh dibangunkan di atas tanah itu adalah berdasarkan syarat ni je tadi. So why do they have this different type of land ownership and then different type of condition? Sebabnya compensation awarded will depend on the character of the property. Compensation ni maknanya harga ataupun value tanah tu. Alright? So compensation dia will depend on the character of the property acquired. Alright? So these are some of the things yang di dalam land code ni, whereby I know you will not read the land code, so saya dah identify siap-siap dah what are the important things yang tadi saya nyatakan tu. So dia ada use of land, and then categories of land, okay, and then in our Royal Malaysian Custom, di mana yang menentukan percukaian ni, dia pun ada guide on land and property development. Alright, so selalunya, alright, jika sekiranya dalam title, dalam geran ataupun dalam carian rasmi tu, dia punya kategori tu ditulis nil, ataupun dia punya condition tu ditulis nil. Alright, so this guide on land and property development telah memberi guideline atau memberi cadangan if the land is under village land, dia akan automatis yang nil tu jadi agriculture. And then kalau dekat country land atau town land, dia akan automatic menjadi building. Alright, so when land usage is categorized under building, it can be either for commercial and residential. Alright, so however, this category, okay, shall be determined by the local authority. Yang ni kita akan tengok dekat bahagian development order nanti. Okay, so ini adalah antara type of land. Tadi kita dah tengok freehold, leasehold. Okay, I mentioned just now, freehold ni it's yours forever, indefinite period. And then unlimited right to subdivide ataupun nak tukar condition, semua boleh because it's yours. Alright. However, berbeza dengan leasehold, so the land is actually belong to the government, but it has been leased to the public for up to 99 years. Alright, and it is limited purpose of lease. Maknanya if it is leased for cultivation, so memang untuk penanaman sahaja. Kalau dia lease untuk building, residential, untuk residential sahaja. Tak ada boleh untuk buat benda lain. Tak boleh diubah. Bukanlah tak boleh, boleh. Cuma prosesnya banyak. You have to go to the state government and mohon, and they have to luluskan, then baru you boleh pergi ke pejabat tanah, then you baru boleh pergi ke local authority. And then upon expiry of the lease, seperti saya kata tadi, the land actually should be reverted to the state authority, and then the lease owner tadi tu have to apply for renewal. However, if that particular location is yet to have any planning to be used by the state authority, so the owner can actually apply for extension. Okay, however, if they have plan for that area, maknanya you have to give back the land to the authority. Okay, and then we have one more, Bumiputra Reserve Land. Okay, ini adalah diorang panggil Malay Reserve Area ataupun Rizab Bumi, So sebenarnya tujuan utama we have this Bumiputra Reserve was actually to prevent state land under Malaysia Reserve Area to be disposed ataupun dijual kepada non-Malay, and then to actually preserve the ability of Bumiputra to have their own land. Okay, however, this particular Bumiputra Reserve tidak ada di Melaka dan Penang. So maknanya dekat Melaka dengan Penang memang tak ada kawasan untuk Bumiputra Reserve. Right? Cuma itulah, sekarang ni saya dengar tanah wakaf pun perniagakan what more to this Bumi Putra Reserve Land lah. Alright. Okay, other than you need to know about the freehold, leasehold, condition, agriculture, building and industry, you must also know the different types of titles, geran. Alright, so we have master title. Namanya pun master, so this particular title only be given to the developer. Okay, tujuannya adalah to develop the land. Okay, so it is for the whole development project. Maknanya, contohnya your assignment for example, you need to find a land 3 to 5 acres. Katalah you dapat 3 acre land. Okay, so the 3 acre land tu, the whole 3 acre akan diberikan master title kepada developer. And then developer pun akan bangunkan rumah teres. Alright, so bila dah bangunkan rumah teres, okay, kita akan ada individual title kepada purchaser. So developer need to actually apply from this master title to be divided into individual title for the purchaser. So individual title is the title for the landed properties. Alright, ada juga developer yang dapat master title then develop condominiums. So bila dia develop condominiums, you will later need to apply for strata title for all the homeowners. Sama juga macam individual title, cuma dia untuk high rise properties. So because of high rise properties, dia akan ada joint management body, dia akan ada management corporation, ya, so dia akan mengambil masa untuk keluarkan strata title ni, ya, so because it will need to deal with all the management of harta guna sama, ya, so dia akan because of that dia mengambil masa. Dulu it was 7 to 20 years, but now 3 years pun dah dapat. So maknanya selalunya kalau orang yang beli kondo ataupun apartments, ya, untuk you jual balik tu dia mengambil masa. Okay, so why do you need to have this individual title or strata title? It is actually the proof of ownership. And selain daripada tu, dia juga adalah untuk tujuan kalau kita nak buat proses penjual beli. Ya, so maknanya bukti bahawa that particular land is ours. Alright, so ini adalah contoh title. Alright, so hak milik sementara di sini bukanlah maknanya dia leasehold. Okay, so basically hak milik sementara ni adalah maknanya temporary. So bila kita beli tanah, ya, so bila kita ingin memiliki tanah, ya, so dia ada banyak proses. So hak milik sementara ni apabila telah selesai semua proses pembayaran dan sebagainya, sementara untuk ditukar kepada final title grant, sebab nanti mereka kena reproduce, ya, so dia akan bagi hak milik sementara. Alright, so kalau kita tengok dalam ni, dia adalah macam ni, kategori penggunaan tanah, bangunan. Alright, so syarat nyata bangunan kediaman. Alright, so dia dah detail dah kat dalam ni. Ya, kalau geran tanah, dia akan ada sekali dengan pelan ni. Alright, tapi dia ada satu lagi dokumen yang mana kita panggil sijil carian rasmi, whereby ada yang you all dah sepatutnya terimalah untuk grup masing-masing. Yang itu tak ada benda ni. Ya. So basically carian rasmi tu adalah satu dokumen yang mana memang kalau developer sebenar pun, kalau dia nak buat projek untuk dia check maklumat tanah tu, they can actually request carian rasmi sebab title ataupun geran ni hanya pemilik sahaja yang boleh ada kopi dia, even kopi sahaja. Ya, yang original tu dekat pejabat tanah. Alright. So same goes here. Alright. Ini pun contoh juga geran. Okay, you can see pertanian dan dia akan tulis dekat sini jika sekiranya dia adalah Rizab Melayu. Ya, so dia akan terus nyatakan. Okay. So bila Rizab Melayu ni sebarang transaksi hanya between the Malays only. Ya, tak boleh ditransactedkan kepada non-Malays. Yeah. Alright, so those are the things about Inception, whereby dia cerita pasal tanah. Alright, so dia starts dengan bagaimana nak memiliki tanah, ada 3 cara. Okay, alienation, dealings and also inheritance. And then you know about leasehold and lease dengan juga lost word dah saya. Apa? Freehold. Okay, leasehold and freehold. And then dia ada juga lagi syarat ataupun condition. Agriculture, industry, building. And then selain daripada tu dia boleh detail lagi. Kalau agriculture apa? Kalau industri apa? Building apa? Boleh. And then you need to know about the master title, individual title and also strata title. Alright, so those are the things yang you kena check dalam pemilikan tanah tu. Alright, so now we move to the feasibility study. Okay, feasibility study ni objektif dia adalah it is to determine whether the project is viable or feasible. So feasible ni dia ada business and technical point of view. So bila business tu dia akan melibatkan kepada profitable. And technical ni also ada banyak lah, maknanya construction, constructability, and then ada safety dan sebagainya. Viable ni maknanya boleh dilakukan. Maknanya boleh dapat financial and then boleh marketable. Alright, so maknanya when it comes to feasibility study, walaupun dekat sini dia tulis viable and feasible, selalu saya mention because dia ada business and technical point of view, saya selalu tambah viable, feasible and satu lagi profitable. Alright, and then selain daripada tu, okay, feasibility study ni developer ataupun feasibility planner, consultant buat feasibility ni untuk identify and recommend choices available. Okay, for example, you have a plot of land. Katalah you memang ada satu plot of land, and then you buat feasibility study to actually identify what can be developed on that plot of land. So maknanya eloknya buat perumahan ke, eloknya buat commercial ke, eloknya buat mixed development ke atas tanah yang kita ada tu. Atau it can also be you ni developer perumahan. So you feel like you wanted to develop, you have the ability to develop. Tapi you tengah mencari ataupun choices antara nak buat dekat KL ke, dekat Selangor ke, dekat Nilai ke, dekat Seremban ke. So itulah tujuan feasibility study. Alright, dia nak identify atau nak recommend choices that can determine the shape of development and how it should be implemented and marketed. Cuma in your case, in relation to our assignment tu, so I have give you the topic ataupun the project which is terrace houses, and to a certain extent because of our limitation yang ODL ni, and then kita punya dekat Selangor PKPB pun telah disambung, so you are not allowed as a UiTM student, actually you are not allowed to go anywhere. So you tak boleh nak pergi ke government agency dan sebagainya untuk mencari lokasi. So saya pun telah berikanlah lokasi tersebut. Alright, so terpaksalah you terima lokasi tu. Jadi what you need to do now adalah you must be able to determine that terrace houses tu di lokasi tersebut adalah viable, feasible dan profitable. How are you going to do it? Alright, so client requirement tadi saya explain. Okay, saya dah bagi, saya nak terrace house dekat lokasi yang saya berikan. Then you need to do, okay, dia colour yellow. So you can either buat market study dulu or you want to identify the suitable land. Alright, so secara dasarnya either or pun boleh buat. Okay, nak tengok land itu suitable atau tak, ataupun nak buat market study pun boleh, either or. And then you need to come out with the layout plan. Alright, and then you need to conduct application for development order. Yeah, so please ingat development order. And then you need to identify the development budget. Yeah, and then you need to come out with the development schedule. Okay, so let us look. Alright, so untuk feasibility study, alright, dia akan market study will falls under market feasibility, economic feasibility and design feasibility. Market feasibility ni nak tengok whether sesuai tak kawasan tu, apa yang ada, elements ataupun perkara-perkara lain yang boleh support pembinaan rumah teres kita tu dekat kawasan tu. Sama ada existing sekolah ke, existing university ke, ada existing LRT station ke, ataupun future LRT station ke, yang mana bila kita kata okay, we have a new development of terrace house in this location, it is very strategic because it is already have school, have LRT line, untuk membolehkan kita market kita punya produk tu. And then in term of economic feasibility, so kalau kita bangunkan bangunan tu di situ, kita ada orang dah start duduk kat situ, macam mana in term of commercial area dia, ada ke boleh peluang pekerjaan, ataupun dia ada perancangan untuk juga membangunkan commercial area which can also provide peluang pekerjaan. And then design feasibility, we need to know what are other kinds of houses in that area. Kita nak buat terrace house, so adakah dah banyak terrace house kat situ? So adakah kita punya cadangan ni akan memberi competition, ataupun dekat area tu semuanya high end development, so adakah kita ni layak nak bina dekat situ? You know, those kind of justifications. Alright, and then land identification ni adalah site or location feasibility. So you will want to know jarak dari city center berapa, apakah access highway yang berhampiran, dan sebagainya. And then satu lagi adalah financial feasibility, whereby you need to know what are the costs, construction cost, land cost or the total cost of that project. And then you need to know siapa nak bagi kita fund. Alright, mana nak cari funding. And then adakah value dia nanti, value jualan tu boleh cover investment yang telah kita lakukan. Alright, so these are the things that you need to do or to conduct during feasibility studies. Okay, so this is actually an example of feasibility study yang dilakukan oleh this particular consultant. So for your information, sebenarnya untuk di dunia sebenar, in the real case scenario, the developer will actually appoint consultant, the town planners, to conduct this feasibility study. But this time around, sebab you are simulating the project, I want you to be the planners yang buat feasibility ni. Alright. So dalam ni contohnya dia kata cerita pasal site analysis, macam ni lah. And then dia ada nak tengok suitable ke tak for business area tu, accessibility, zoning. Yang ni adalah perkara yang penting, yang mana ini adalah akan menjadi apa orang kata, authorities requirement. Okay, and then transportation, demografi, economic impact, supply and demand. Ini yang akan melibatkan dengan design feasibility. Adakah existing supply of houses di situ yang bagaimana demografiknya? So how does our proposal complete that or meet that? Ya, dan sebagainya. Alright. So ni tadi saya explain project brief, ya, or the client's requirement. So it's actually nak menyatakan ataupun pernyataan mengenai permintaan klien. So the final stage in the process of defining the client's requirement for the development. Yeah, the statement of need is the first attempt to describe the possible requirement of the project. So untuk kita punya case, so I have mentioned that I need you all to develop the terrace houses. Alright, so this is what I mentioned just now. You can either do market study or identify suitable land, sebab it can be vice versa. You boleh dulu buat market overview ataupun market study, lepas tu baru buat site selection, ataupun you nak site selection dulu ataupun buat description of the land, barulah buat pasal market study. Alright, so ni adalah contoh table of content, dua jenis report feasibility yang melibatkan market study atau identify suitable land. Okay, so kenapa kita buat market study ni? Okay, so basically it is the market analysis, market assessment, penilaian, market sounding and market research. Apa yang ada dalam dia? So kita nak tahu potential demand. So bila kita nak tahu potential demand, kita kena tahu existing supply. Bila kita dah tahu nak tahu potential demand, dah tahu existing supply, kita juga perlu tahu maklumat mengenai population. Lepas tu kita nak tahu juga maklumat mengenai demografik. Orang kat situ kerja apa kemampuan mereka, anak mereka berapa orang. Alright? So semua ni sebenarnya boleh didapati daripada Department of Statistics punya report. Okay, and then selain daripada tu, bila dah tahu existing supply, kita nak tahu pula competition. Adakah existing supply of houses tu competitionnya bagaimana? How do we fit in? And then authorities policies ni tadi, dia melibatkan yang pentingnya adalah zoning. Okay, so how are you going to know this? So you already have your carian rasmi. You know that what kind of condition your land is. However, you need to check this zoning, ya, dengan sebenarnya dengan PBT. Okay, you kena check dengan PBT. So how are you going to do this? So sebenarnya kenapa saya pilih Selangor? Selangor dia ada SISMAP. Okay, SISMAP ni kita boleh nak tengok dia zoning dia apa. So kalau perancangan kita nak buat bangunan, kita kena pastikan zoning lokasi itu adalah bangunan. Kalau zoning kawasan itu adalah industri, kita tak boleh buat bangunan kediaman di situ. Yeah? And then we also need to know timing of the launch of the project. Masa ni, masa katalah kita bina sekarang lagi 2 tahun siap, apa yang akan berlaku pada 2 tahun tu di kawasan tersebut? Contohnya akan ada sekolah pun siap, akan ada new commercial area pun siap, akan ada new LRT station pun siap. So which means that it can help to actually boost the market of your proposal. Yeah, and then projection of expected sales ni adalah berapa selling point atau selling price untuk rumah tu. Yeah, so you need to know what would your revenue be. Adakah ianya menguntungkan, bagus ke tidak untuk kita laksanakan projek di situ. Alright, again market study ni nak tengok potential demand, supply, competition, authorities policy, timing and also expected sales. Alright, so secara dasarnya bila kita nak identify suitable land, so sebenarnya kita kena buat kita kena pergi land office dengan JUPAM untuk kita dapatkan sijil carian rasmi. Tapi sebab you all tak boleh pergi, saya telah memberikan sijil carian rasmi itulah. So bila dah dapat sijil carian rasmi tu, kita kena buat desk study, nak tengok, nak identify maklumat, mungkin lot, district, and then you need to also identify in that particular lot apa master development plan untuk area tu, apa zoningnya, apa accessnya, and then you need to also know from statistical data, macam tadi saya kata, you need to know dia punya apa density, availability dan sebagainya. And then selalunya you need to also go to the site. Tapi in our situation, don't risk yourself. Ya, sekarang kita ada Uncle Google, dia ada Google Street tu, you can use that to virtually go for site visit. Alright, so selalunya kita pergi site visit ni sebab kita nak ambil feel. Okay, kalau aku bina rumah ni kat sini, okay jarak dia dengan bandar macam gini. Dia dah ada existing access road and then they have plan to improve that. You know, things like that. Tetapi kekangan kita sekarang ni, you can go site visit virtually lah. Alright, and then selain daripada itu, okay, in site recognition ni, you will also observe the economic activities, the surrounding development, the accessibility, yes, and then to a certain extent, kenapa suruh saya kata kena pergi buat site reconnaissance ni, sebabnya there are areas, contohnya kalau dululah I need the student to go to the land office and ask from the land office vacant land. Okay, kadang-kadang okay, orang tu kata okay, kat area-area ni semua ni dah ada orang own, tanah ni je yang kosong. So kita pun happy lah bawa balik carian rasmi. And then bila kita pergi site recognition, no wonder nobody wants to develop the area. Sebabnya ianya adalah swampy area. So it's not that swampy area is not good for development, tetapi dia punya kos awalan tu amat tinggi untuk memastikan kawasan itu cukup sesuai untuk dibangunkan. That's why despite we have gotten the information from your carian rasmi, your statistical data, your desk study, ya, tetapi going to the site is quite important as well. But however, in our situation, you go to the site virtually. Alright, and bila dah ada ni and you feel that I really want to purchase this land, alright, so kita akan ada process of land valuation and acquisition of the land. Alright, so inilah contoh cara rasmi. So you all pun dah tengok, okay, and then dekat cara rasmi ni dia tak ada plan. Jadi selalunya we need to go to JUPAM untuk mendapatkan location plan, map dan sebagainya. Tapi untuk you all, I think I have given that to you as well. Alright. So untuk land acquisition, okay, tadi saya kata bila kita dah kita dah agree dengan tanah ni, we want to have this land, alright, and then kita akan buat proses land acquisition. Okay, land acquisition ni memiliki tanah. Proses untuk mendapatkan tanah tersebut. Yes, dia ada various stages sebenarnya. So I never ask from step 1 to step 17. I just want to briefly understand what happened bila kita nak acquire. Alright. So so you need to apply, yeah, and then there will be examination, bukan peperiksaan. Dia akan buat semakan. Alright, dia akan semak and then dia akan meman kepada whoever milih, ya, yang menyatakan bahawa okay, orang ni nak beli, ya, and then we have this investigation and orders. Maknanya di pejabat tanah dia akan tampal, okay, encik ini berminat untuk membeli tanah di lot ini dengan pempasan yang sesuai. Sesiapa yang ada halangan boleh datang ke pejabat tanah untuk formkan dia punya halangan. So maknanya dia, tak silap saya, iklan tu antara 3 ke 6 bulan. So siapa-siapa yang nak bantah transaksi tu boleh pergi ke pejabat tanah dengan sebab yang sesuai lah. Mungkin dia kata, oh abang dia suka-suka je nak jual tanah ni, I tak agree, my name is also in the list. So dia boleh bantah. Alright, so kalau tiada sebarang bantahan atau bantahan tu telah diselesaikan, so valuation akan dibuat, okay. So we will need to pay the amount of money untuk beli tanah tu, then kita akan mula mendapat acquisition. So pada masa ni lah kita akan dapat temporary, temporary title. Alright, then dah ada temporary title ni pun dia akan buat lagi iklan. Dia akan nyatakan lagi, okay, encik ini telah membeli bla 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 pada lot ini bla bla bla, dan kalau ada sebarang bantahan boleh maju. So kalau ada orang yang bantah, they can actually, that's why dia temporary title. It can berubah lagi. Tapi kalau tak ada, then dia akan endorsed by the court and akan ada tax amendment kalau kita ubah bangunan agriculture jadi building dan sebagainya, dia akan ada tax amendment dan dia akan ada title yang sebenar. Ya, alright. So ini adalah proses dia. Okay, and dia adalah various form dan sebagainya dalam ni adalah dinyatakan. Alright. Tetapi untuk land acquisition ni, dia boleh straightforward. For example, katalah memang tanah kita tu tanah building. So kita pun memang nak beli saiz tanah tu 3 ekar dan tanah tu memang dijual 3 ekar. So tadi, this is the process. However, jika sekiranya tanah tu adalah tanah agriculture. So kita nak buat building. So we need to convert from agriculture to building. And then tanah tu 50 ekar, we only want 5 acres. So we need to also subdivide first. Then baru dia akan jadi process acquisition ni. Alright. So in the case where the land chosen or acquired for the purpose of development is still in its agriculture status, the application for conversion, subdivision, partition, amalgamation, wherever applicable, must be obtained first before actual development can take place. Alright, so maknanya yes, land acquisition process tadi tu, tapi kalau ada conversion, subdivision, ya, perlu dilakukan dulu. Conversion maknanya tukar syarat, subdivision mengambil sebahagian, atau kat sini dia ada satu lagi perkataan amalgamation. So tak cukup dia ada 1.5 acre, 1.5 acre, nak gabung, namanya amalgamation. Alright. So this is the process of land conversion. Okay. I don't really actually ask apakah dia, tapi ni maklumat lah kalau kita nak convert, apa yang kita dokumen-dokumen yang kena ada. Alright. Okay, sekejap, saya dengar dari tadi ada orang nak masuk, so kita break 2 minit. Okay. Now, we move on. Okay. This is another important things. Dia selain daripada tadi kita dah tahu pasal land acquisition. Okay, you need to either convert, subdivide or amalgamate wherever possible. And then bila dah dapat sebidang tanah tu, you need to come out with layout plan. Okay, layout plan ni actually the arrangement, schematic arrangement of the houses and also other things. Okay, dalam kita punya assignment tu, you will need to have these houses. Okay, you need to have houses. You need to have the MSTP, Mechanical Sewerage Treatment Plan ataupun indah water. And you need to have your TNB substation for your development. Alright. So tetapi to a certain extent, there are areas where dia dah ada centralized MSTP. So kita tak payah lagi buat MSTP, so kita just sediakan pipe untuk ke centralized MSTP. You can actually propose that in your development. Ya, tapi you must be able to identify kat manalah centralized MSDP tu. Ya. So untuk layout plan ni, this is where I requested that you need to know the dimension of your land. You need to know the length of the tanah tu and the width of the tanah. Okay, so this is very important. So that, and from the drawing of terrace house that I gave you, you have already know the dimension of the house. So katalah ni lah contohnya kan. So ni ada tanah lain ya. So you know dimension untuk intermediate berapa, dimension untuk corner lot berapa. So kena guna the real dimension untuk you masukkan berapa buah rumah boleh masuk dalam ni. I really need them to be in the real scale. Ya, sebab there is one semester ya, tanah dia 5 ekar, dia boleh buat 200 buah rumah. So I said to them, I ask you to do double story terrace house, not double story land. Ya, jadi I need you to find the correct dimension untuk membuat layout plan ini. Ada pula tanya, doktor kita orang kena pakai AutoCAD ke? Fine. Sebenarnya if you have the ability to use AutoCAD, by all means lebih memudahkan. Tetapi jika tidak, you can always use ruler. Yeah, don't worry, as long as the scale is correct. Yeah, so secara logiknya kalau 3 ekar tanah takkanlah boleh masuk 200 buah terrace house. Yeah, impossible. Alright, so that's why you need to know the dimension and also the real dimension of your land. Yeah, the length, the width dan sebagainya. Alright, so this is the development order. Okay, the development order is actually a written permission obtained from local planning authority. So local planning authority ni sebenarnya dia adalah berada di bawah local authority. Majlis bandaraya, majlis daerah, majlis bandaran, ya. Yeah. So a planning permission must be required after land conversion is approved and before building plan process can proceed. Ya. Yeah. There is no minimum land area exempted from planning permission. Katalah you nak buat 1 ekar pun, alright, tapi sebab you buat 4 buah rumah bungalow, which means that is already a development, you need to apply for development order ataupun planning permission. Tapi nama glamour dia dekat PBT adalah KM, kebenaran merancang. Alright, and then this development order ataupun planning permission adalah no person other than local authority. So you can see that only local authority can develop without planning permission sebab dia ada planner planner division di bawah dia. Yeah. So no person other than the local authority shall commence, undertake or carry out any development unless permission of planning has been given. Alright, and then a development shall obtain approval of planning from local planning authority. So local planning authority ni kalau dekat MBSA dia ada jabatan perancangan, jabatan perancang bandar. Alright, so dia under PBT lah ataupun local authority. Alright, so if development carried out without planning permission ataupun contrary to planning permission, so the developer or the owner will be convicted for an offence, fine not exceeding 500,000 ringgit or imprisonment. Alright, so maknanya development order ni penting. Okay, so for your information, I have heard one of my friends they develop a driving institute under the institute's land, maknanya tanah tu tanah milik personal. They develop a driving institute tanpa memohon development order. The development cost them about 3 million, yeah, but because of no orang kata DO, no KM, yeah, bangunannya perlu diruntuhkan. Yeah, not only they are fined, but the bangunan need to be demolished because they said that tak ada safety. Sebab when you do KM, dia ada requirements dia. Alright. And then this development order, okay, it has 3 process. One, you need to submit the LCP. Okay, developer through their consultant, as I mentioned just now, di dunia sebenar, you will actually hire consultant untuk buat feasibility ni. So the consultant will need to submit laporan cadangan pemajuan, yeah, and then the layout plans, yeah, and then apply land conversion, land subdivision or land acquisition, yeah, at pejabat tanah. And if your project is more than 50 hectares, yeah, you need to conduct EIA. Kalau not more than 50 hectares, you need to only make sure that you have EMP in your project plan. Okay, EMP ni environmental management for protection. Yeah, so dia akan adalah dalam your construction drawing, your planning, dia akan adalah teknik-teknik untuk protect the environment. Alright, so this is development order. Okay, and here I do mention that the approval is not standardized. It's not that the process is not standardized. To a certain extent, requirements from different departments yang vary. Alright, so dia between different local authority pun dia berbeza, different department pun dia berbeza, yeah. And then different projects pun menyebabkan requirement dia berbeza. Right, so don't be surprised. Tapi due to the fact that you don't have to deal with this PBT and pejabat tanah and all the agencies, you will not orang kata feel the differences. But I would like to mention to you that they do differ. So nanti katalah pergi kerja, bos suruh pergi MBSA and then pergi MPK and then pergi MDS, lain-lain permintaannya, lain-lain prosedurnya. Don't be surprised. Yeah. So these are some of the further information on development order. So it's valid for 12 months. Yeah. Tak adalah maknanya habis 12 bulan tu dia habis. Dia basically once you dapat KM ataupun development order punya permission, you need to have physical activity within 12 months. Kalau dalam 12 bulan tu tak ada sebarang aktiviti, ya, kita boleh apply extension. Alright. Tapi selalunya kalau developer dah minta planning permission tu, there will be something lah within 12 months. Maknanya you have started your construction dan sebagainya. Yeah. So planning permission ni dia akan tamat 12 bulan kalau tak ada sebarang aktiviti di tapak. Alright. And then laporan cadangan pemajuan. The document that you need to produce untuk submit development order. So laporan cadangan pemajuan ni maklumatnya sama seperti feasibility report. But laporan cadangan pemajuan ni adalah technical report, submitted untuk planning permission. Alright, please jangan buat silap apabila bila saya semak you all punya submission, okay, mana feasibility report? Oh, dalam laporan cadangan pemajuan, doktor. No. Okay, feasibility report adalah semasa proses feasibility study. Tetapi LCP ni you kena produce walaupun menggunakan maklumat yang sama seperti feasibility report, tapi you need to produce this LCP dengan tujuan untuk submit planning permission. It should be put under the process of planning permission. So apa benda yang ada kat dalam tu, so saya dah letakkan laporan ni dekat dalam future. You boleh tengok, tapi kalau nak tengok contoh pun you boleh google je. Okay, I have found a few yang boleh digunakan untuk sebagai contoh. Tetapi laporan manual ni saya dah letak, so you can also follow this. Okay, apa yang ada, dia kena ada concept and justification, location map, key plan, site plan, contour plan. So untuk our case, contour plan tak payahlah. Alright, sekarang satu hal pula pemurung tak boleh buat contour plan. It's okay, untuk kita sampai site plan je sudah, contour tak payah. And then land ownership, ini dah ada dalam carian rasmi. And then description of the land, inilah yang konon-kononnya kita kena pergi tapak tu. Physical environment, topography, drainage, natural feature, and then yang ini, okay, in real world, to a certain extent, you kena kira berapa biji, berapa batang pokok yang ada di lokasi tersebut. Dia tujuan dia adalah environmental tadi. And then what kind of vegetation, ada orang tanam-tanam ke, and then building affected by the development, and then the current land use, and the effect of adjoining land. Katalah kita buat terrace house, what will happen to the jiran-jiran yang ada kat situ. That's why you need to know what it has in that area. Okay, so this is EIA. So EIA ni kalau more than 50 hectares, so dia memang ada particularly for housing, yeah. So what do we need to do EIA? So untuk case kita tak perlulah. Yang ni pun I think you will also learn further in your environment punya subject, yeah. And then development budget. Okay, so dalam development budget ni you need to know two things. Satu value, satu cost. So cost ni adalah duit keluar, perbelanjaan. Okay, so value ni adalah duit masuk, hasil pendapatan. So you need to know in term of the cost ni, the building cost, infrastructure cost, land cost, fees, contribution to local authority, marketing fees dan sebagainya. So untuk pendapatan ni, you need to know the market value. Okay, so untuk development cost ni, you all boleh carilah the current price, you boleh tanya kontraktor, you boleh tanya developer. Tapi worst case scenario, saya ada letak juga handbook untuk cost dekat dalam U-Future. Okay. And then another thing is development schedule. So yang ni I think you will be learning this in detail in semester 7, whereby you will be having the class for Primavera. So project schedule is actually a tool that communicate what works need to be performed at what time frame. So project schedule should reflect all the work associated with delivering the project on time. Okay, so selalunya kita panggil work program lah. Okay, tapi to those yang pergi praktikal, you all akan dengar diorang panggil CPM. Okay, so CPM ni sebenarnya method membuat work program. Okay, tapi dia pun suka panggil CPM. Saya deal dengan kontraktor pun, bila tanya what is your work program? Oh, CPM. Walaupun sebenarnya CPM ni adalah underlying calculation bagaimana nak buat work program. Okay, so it is for time management, coordination and also optimization usage of plant, financial and material. Alright, so your work program must be realistic. Okay, janganlah orang lain buat site clearance 2 minggu, kita 3 hari je doktor. Kita ada bantuan daripada ayah Pin. Okay, please realistic. And then correct sequence of work. Okay, bila kita cakap correct sequence, construction ni kita buat bottom up ke top down? Siapa boleh jawab? Bottom up ke top down? Anyone?
Bottom up.
Bottom up, pandai. Okay, kalau siapa-siapa yang kata top down tu, dia pakai bomoh. Ya, so bila kita cakap pasal correct sequence of work, your work program kenalah start dengan site clearance, and then kita kena start dari bawah, kita buat earthwork, kita buat first floor, kita buat second floor, kita buat roof. Alright, jadi dia punya sequence tu kena betul. And then earthwork ni berapa lama? First floor ni berapa lama? First floor dia adalah macam-macam activity lagi. So untuk kita punya case, untuk kita punya assignment, alright. The first interim ni, kalau you belum boleh lagi buat dalam proper work program, sama ada Microsoft Project atau Primavera, I will want to see the activities tu betul ke tak. Alright. And then appropriate date of completion. So bila kita tahu dia punya time tu realistic, kita akan tahu date of completion. And then consider workforce and financial resources. Alright, yang ni kalau kita guna software kita boleh masukkan terus resources ni. And then to include major public holidays. When I learn planning, masa saya student dan selepas saya jadi student, saya jadi lecturer pun saya pergi kelas planning. So the lecturer or the speaker said, kalender kuda adalah kawan baik kepada planning. Sebab kalender kuda tu dia ada macam-macam public holidays dalam tu. So never plan your critical works semasa major public holiday. Hari raya Cina, apa lagi, Cap Gomeh, don't. You akan mengalami delay. And then you need to have the clear date for start of work. So this is an example of computer software. So ini adalah Microsoft Project. Alright. And this is Primavera. Alright. So for our assignment, I want you to use Microsoft Project sebab ianya available free. So Primavera ni dia tak banyak yang free, yang saya tahulah. Saya tak tahu kalau you are lagi terror dari saya, you ada Primavera yang crack version tapi saya tak jumpa lagi. Ya, saya memang jumpa yang Microsoft Project. So I need you to do in Microsoft Project. Alright. So submission. Tapi untuk first interim ni, kalau tak boleh buat lagi, memadailah list out the activity. Maknanya yang kat sini lah mesti dah ada. Right? And for construction management sebenarnya bila kita buat mengikut proses tu, so kita akan boleh nampak progress yang cantik dekat tapak. So macam ni dia baru set clearance, ni dah first floor, ini dah naik beam, ini dah pergi second floor, ini pun dah pergi third floor, so you can see the progress tu cantik. So this is in Malaysia, ni bukan dekat negara Mak Saleh, ini dekat Malaysia. So maknanya it can be done. It can be done. Alright. So we mentioned about developers license. So ini adalah approval untuk developer whereby you need to register yourself di KPKT. Alright. So how are you going to apply that? You can use this blast. And then saya juga telah letakkan di sini apakah requirementnya, apalah yang kena bayar dan sebagainya. So in this particular subtopic, apa yang you nak tulis dekat dalam your report tu, you must write the process. Maknanya why do you need to apply for developer's license, what are the processes, what are the requirements. Itu sahaja. Okay, so developer's license tadi boleh di-apply bersekali dengan advertising permit. So kalau you apply bersekali, ini adalah contoh sijilnya. Tetapi kalau hanya memohon lesen developer's license, dia berupa macam ni. Alright, so you can apply separately or you want to apply together. Alright. Oh okay, nampaknya itulah untuk hari ini. Alright. Okay. So that is what cerita untuk hari ini. Okay. How do you find the feasibility study? Nampak tak how does it relate with your interim one? Okay. So di samping itu saya juga ingin menunjukkan contoh apa yang last semester dah buat. Okay. We have this. Ini dia punya interim one lah, bukan the whole process whereby I do comments also. So dia ada, dia start dengan company profile. Okay, you know that you are now a developer company. Ada sedikit company profile. Alright, and then they start masuk feasibility study. So they started with the site location. Okay, so dia keluarkan maklumat daripada apa tu, carian rasmi tu. Okay, and then dia menceritakan tentang location. Alright, so dia start dengan map. Okay, dalam Selangor ni location dia dekat mana, ya, and then ini yang dia dapat daripada Google Map, ya, ini daripada drawing yang saya berikan, ya. Tapi zoning ni bukan di sini sepatutnya. Zoning ni patutnya berada di authorities requirement. Alright, and then dia dah buat pasal land, dia masuk market study apa yang ada dekat situ. So dia kata ni lokasi dia, so dia identify ada highway, ada masjid, ada sekolah, ada hall, ya. And selain daripada tu, dia juga identify apakah jenis-jenis perumahan yang ada nearby. Alright. Alamak, sorry, mesti saya tak share kan? Okay, sorry. Again. Sorry, again. Okay, ni contoh. Okay, so they have put in their company profile. Okay, company profile and whatnot. Okay, company profile. But you can do better lah. I mean, kadang-kadang company profile ni to impress kan. So you can actually buat satu, orang kata, dokumen lain untuk company profile sahaja. Alright. Dan untuk group ni dia orang buat, tadi saya kata you can buat sama ada land ID or market analysis. So this one dia buat land ID dulu. So dia keluarkan semua maklumat daripada carian rasmi. Okay. And then selepas tu dia letakkanlah location pasal tanah tadi, dia buat land identification kan. So dia buat land, dia buat map, ya. Cuma yang ni, zoning ni bukan kat sini. Zoning ni sepatutnya dekat authorities requirement. Alright. You nak prove yang cadangan kita nak buat rumah ni adalah sesuai mengikut zoning perancangan bandar. And then barulah dia buat market study, dia tengok surrounding, ya. So dia identify ini kawasan dia, so dia tengok ada highway, ada masjid, ada sekolah, ada jalan lagi, ya. And then selain daripada tu, dia juga melihat kepada what are the supply of houses yang ada kat situ. So ni dia ada rumah teres, ada rumah satu tingkat dan sebagainya. Alright. And then dia buat SWOT analysis. Ya. Sebenarnya by having this, ya, by having drawing ni, dia boleh bantu untuk justify your SWOT analysis. Okay. And then dia cerita pasal land acquisition. Okay. Alright. And then okay. Untuk land acquisition ni, jika sekiranya you are doing certain processes yang melibatkan forms, okay, you need to download that forms and mention it is in appendix whatever. Okay, I want you to actually get the feel of okay, inilah inilah borangnya, inilah apalah semua. So in the appendix. Alright, so ni sebab tanah dia kena based on carian rasmi, tanah dia kena buat conversion. Tengok dia kata tanah dia agriculture, so dia kena buat conversion. So dia ceritalah apa yang ada dekat dalam conversion tu. Okay, and then berapa nak kena bayar. Lepas tu then dia cerita pula pasal development order. Alright, so dia adalah dia punya prosedur. So dalam prosedur ni dia kata kena buat laporan cadangan pemajuan. So this laporan cadangan pemajuan you can put in the appendix. Alright. And then untuk development program ni, ya. So masa ni dia belum siap lagi Microsoft project. So dia nyatakan aja development phase ni ada apa, dia punya activities. So ni contohnya. Okay. So this is the layout plan. So layout plan ni mestilah mengikut scale. Alright. So tanah dia dah ukur dah tanah dia and then dia dapatlah skillnya dan sebagainya. So these are the form yang saya kata tadi, you letak je dekat dalam appendix. Okay. So itu adalah contoh yang ada for last semester. Alright. Okay. Now, last week saya ada beri you all task untuk you all cari dimension of tanah ataupun dimension of your rumah. Have you done that? Has anybody done that?
Yes, but we have a little bit problem
Yes.
how to overcome the dimension.
Dimension of what? The house or the land?
The land, the side,
The
the
land.
side, of course.
The side. Okay, I would love to show to you. One moment, yeah. This map. Okay. Alright, let us, saya tunjukkan di, mana tadi? Alright. Okay. Right. Now, kita boleh pergi ke Sysmaps. Right, so Sysmap. Okay, so kita pergilah dekat pengguna awam. Okay, katalah tanah you all nombor berapa lupa pula. I have okay here. Okay, katalah tanah ni dekat Kapa is Kelang. Okay, so this is Sysmap. You all boleh mencari lot 1631. Cari yang serupa sahaja. Dia mencari. Okay. Oh, lama pula dia mencari. Oh, come on. Okay. So, dalam kita punya secara yang rasmi tu, kita ada ni, Mukim Kapak. Contohnya, mana tadi? Okay, here. Okay. So, here is Mukim Kapak. Alright. So, macam mana kita nak ukur? Okay, kita boleh ukur kat sini. Alright. Okay. Kita nak tengok distance ke? Kita tak nak pakai mile. Kita nak pakai meter. Okay. So, kita boleh ukur dia. Alright. So, kita nak ukur. Okay. Measure here. Okay. Yeah. There you go. You got here. You got, okay, sinilah. So dia 62.7 meter. Tengok dekat ni, measurement result ni. Okay. Alright. Okay. And then, katalah stop kat situ. And then kita okay. And then kita try lagi sekali. Kita nak measure, katalah area. Tak nak square mile, kita nak square feet lah contohnya. Yeah, so we want to measure. Kita ambil. Okay. Sekejap, again. So, you boleh dapatkan dia punya lebih kurang lah. Okay, contohnya ni, dia bagi 199 square feet. So, kita boleh ambil ni, kita convert pula. Berapakah dia dalam ekar? Contohnya. So, you can use here. Okay, untuk ni. And then, you can also use this. Okay. Okay, you boleh guna untuk cari jalan, nak tengok layer jalan. Okay, nak tengok layer pertempatan, you boleh tengok. Ya. And then boleh juga layer, nak tengok apa, jalan utama, nak tengok point of interest, nak tengok kemudahan masyarakat, okay, pun boleh. So we can actually use these tools, ya. That's why kalau untuk Selangor, kita ada this sys maps yang boleh bantulah. Kalau di negeri lain saya kurang arif lah bagaimana. Ya. Cuma dekat sini sepatutnya ada zoning. Kenapa dia tak ada zoning hari ni? Sebab sepatutnya dia ada zoning pun boleh tengok dekat sini je. Okay. Okay, but you can try, you can boleh apa orang kata, boleh play around with this sys map lah. Alright? Okay? Okay tak? Mind blown? Why is that? Banyak sangat maklumat ya. Okay. Due to the fact that this week baru saya berikan you all cara-cara nak membuat ni, yeah, I think I can actually move the interim to week 5. Okay, I can actually move the interim to week 5. Alright. Next week, I can give you a pre-recorded video for design and finance. Maknanya sambil tu you can also do your work on interim 1. Okay, so I change the interim 1 to week 5. Will that be okay? Will that be okay? Class?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Now, 6E ada 3 group, 6D ada 5 group. Alright. So I will give 6D untuk interim ya, untuk interim. I need you to meet or to join by group. Okay, so in week 5, so saya tulis siap. So in week 5, so kita akan exchange ya, interim week 5. Minggu depan I give you learning activity dekat YouFuture. Okay, so next week your attendance will depend on bila you masuk YouFuture. Okay, interim, I need you to join this conversation by group with your kerja lah, of course. Okay, I give 6D to start at 8:30. Every group only 15 minutes. Alright, so 15, 1 jam suku dah siap untuk 6D, and then 6E sambung 3 group. So kita akan cukup lah hampir 2 jam tu. Okay, insyaAllah kita akan cukup. Okay, so please arrange yourself. So Rahman, tolong arrange group mana 8.30, 8.45, 9, 9 suku, 9.30. Yeah, and then same goes to Aida. Arrange group mana yang masuk selepas tu. Yeah, 15 minute each group. So bila dah sampai 15 minit tu, group, katalah group nombor 2 saja je buzz. Hello, dah 15 minutes. Ataupun 13 minit, hello, dah 13 minit. Yeah, I need you to do that so that everybody will get a fair share of 15 minutes each group. Apa yang you nak present, okay, apa yang you nak tunjuk kat saya pada minggu kelima adalah you need to show me this. Maknanya you kena ada site location, you kena cerita pasal your acquisition of land, you kena cerita pasal your development order, you kena cerita pasal your development program. Alright, so this marking scheme pun saya dah letak di dalam you future. Okay, so you susunlah accordingly. Alright, so this is what you need to show me. Semasa okay, now you need to show me this. Okay, this one. Okay, marking scheme ni saya dah letak dalam you future. So you need to show me this lah, location, acquisition of land process, development order process and also your development program. For stage 1, I bukanlah full pun feasibility tu sebab I am yet untuk melihat your budget dan sebagainya. Alright, so I want to see this for the interim one. So maknanya bila interim one tu adalah all that map, ya, semua benda-benda tu lah. Okay. Alright. For now, any question? Banyak sangat maklumat sampai dah jam dah semua. Dah ada tadi dah mind dah blown dah.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Alright. Yelah, due to the fact that mungkin hari ni baru dapat all this information, maybe belum berjaya melaksanakan yang last week punya task. So therefore, saya akan anjatkan interim tu kepada week 5. Okay. Group, class rep, tolong saya uruskan masa untuk presentation. So you all pun ada button untuk present kan? Present now ada kan?
Ada.
Cantik. Alright. So maknanya nanti dalam group tu there will be one person present the thing and maybe kalau ada beberapa orang yang akan mempresentkan benda tu. Alright. Okay.
Okay.
Cantik. Alright, ada soalan? Ada soalan tak?
So far so good.
So far so good. Thank you very much, Haziq. Okay, so kalau belum ada soalan, alright, kalau belum ada soalan, I do believe because you have yet to explore deeply apa ke benda yang nak dibuat ni kan, then I guess I should stop here. Alright, so you try to explore, you try to fulfill requirement untuk interim 1. Alright, so should you came across any difficulties, any problem, WhatsApp saya. Kalau macam satu group tu lah, doktor, ya Allah tak boleh belah lah, tak boleh juga handle ni kan. You can also macam cakap, doktor kita nak Google Meet, or doktor kita nak WhatsApp, video call ke whatever lah. You can also do that. Alright, but let me know, okay? Alright?
Alright.
Okay, very well. Nampaknya Haziq je yang belum tidur lagi.